So we've said that we bring into ethically salient situations our minds and our hearts. So character is another really important dimension of ethical literacy. In some ways, it's the most important because we don't talk about it very much. So I'm actually really excited to talk to you about character. To help unpack the idea of character as we bring it into morally salient situations, I'd like to give you a couple of stories to think about. Imagine that you have a teenage son and you come home one day and you notice clumps of hair on the ground. And what happens is that your son has decided to give himself a haircut. And when you look behind him, there are splotches of baldness in his head. He's got some bald spots. It didn't go so well. And he asks you, how does it look? How does it look? How does my hair look, Dad? How would you react? Here's another scenario, one that's actually in one of the readings that's attached to this video. Imagine that you are a housekeeper in a hospital and you have just finished cleaning the room of a patient who's 18 years old and who is in a comatose kind of state, and whose father has been vigilantly staying by the bedside of this 18-year-old patient. You've just finished cleaning the room and you come outside of the room, and the father accosts you and says, "Why haven't you cleaned the room? Go and clean the room right now. It's really important that he has a clean room." How would you react in that situation? And what I'm going to say is that our characters show up in these morally salient or ethically salient situations. Let me first situate the relationship of virtue ethics, from which we derive our understanding of the importance of character, compare it to some of the other traditions of ethics that we inherit in Western bioethics. One of these traditions is consequentialism. Consequentialism is the idea, it speaks to this family of views that says that how you evaluate the best action in the situation depends on the different outcomes that you could have. And you want to choose that option, that way of reacting that will maximize the outcome. So it doesn't matter. There's no need to stay true to any rule. All you need to do is maximize the good outcome that you can achieve. On this view, if you're trying to figure out how you should react to your son, you could lie to him, you could tell him the truth. It doesn't matter in and of itself. Really what you need to say is, what's going to serve your son best? Is he going to do best if it's the case that you lie to him? Is it going to be best if you tell him the truth? How should you act or react when he asks you how it looks, his haircut? Deontology or duty-based approaches are much more concerned with following rules, with establishing the right rule for how we should react in a situation and following that rule. So a duty-based approach might say, this is a version of Kantianism, for example, that it's never okay to lie to someone, because an important feature of what it means to be human is the ability to make sense of reality, apply one's values, and make decisions accordingly. And if you lie to someone, then you're robbing them of the opportunity to think for themselves about how to react or act in a given situation. So while the consequentialist might say, just figure out what's going to serve your son best and do that, the duty-based, the deontologist will say, you can't actually lie. You have to follow the rule of not lying in order to respect your son. A virtue ethics approach is going to be slightly different than both of these. A virtue ethics approach is going to be asking, what are the right qualities that you should bring to your reaction to the situation? What kind of person do you want to be What characteristics do you want to show in the way that you react to a situation? Another way of thinking about character or virtue ethics is to think about, what does success in life look like? Does success look like amassing the best resume possible? Or does success, is a better indicator of success the kinds of things that somebody would say about you in their eulogy of you when you die? And character ethics is about saying it's really the eulogy approach to success that we want to privilege over the amassing of accomplishments. It's, what kind of person was this? That's really what success in life looks like, what matters in life. I'm going to talk about character in a number of different ways in this section. I'm going to talk about character as our sensitivity to the ethical salience of a situation. I'm going to talk about character as our internalized sense of power and intention. I'm going to talk about character as having to do with our sense of our self related to other people. I'm going to connect character to character traits such as courage and compassion and patience. I'm going to connect character to our comfort and confidence in reacting to situations in the moment. And then I'm going to connect character to the idea of self mastery.